Okay guys, this is my top 10 video game transformations. Now let's get started with the rules before the Rage Fest happens, where everybody watches the list, sees the X transformation that they really wanted on the list isn't on here. Aaron starts writing a comment and the size of Romeo and Juliet on how I'm an idiot for not putting it on here. So, rule number 1. It has to be from a game that I played. Rule number 2. It can only be one per franchise. So, I cannot include, say, Star Mario and Fire Mario if I was going to include either of them on this list. They're just an example. I can only pick one. Moving on. I will not be allowing transformations that are permanent. You have to be able to play as your previous form in gameplay, and your next form in gameplay, and then revert back to your previous form in gameplay. So that's one of the rules. Moving on. No licensed games, so no matter how much I like Super Saiyan will not be on this list. And finally, the last and most important rule, and this one's gonna probably have people scratching their heads when they hear it, but no transformations based on a spirit you call forth or a creature you call forth, meaning if it's not you, that's your player character that's having the transformation, then it's not going to be eligible for this list. So, sorry Pokemon fans, no Mega Evolutions. Now, let's move on to how I'm going to be grading these. So you can understand why these transformations ended up on the list, or at least ended up where they did. I will be grading them on appearance, abilities, the transformation sequence itself, and unique qualities as a whole. Well, meaning any unique abilities, anything unique about the transformation sequence, or just anything unique about the appearance. So, now that I've gotten those out of the way, let's start the list.
Wonderful 100. Diplomacy fails again. Team, engaging unlimited form. Team, unite up. Roger.
Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Wait, why am I choosing the unlimited form from Wonderful 101? And if you haven't played the game, you're probably wondering, what the heck is that? Well, that is the unlimited form. And the reason why I'm choosing it is because, well, while it doesn't have too many unique traits going for it, or abilities going for it, its design is pretty decent, and the transformation sequence is probably one of the best on this list. Heck, I might even say the best. But it's not enough to get it any higher than 10. But the abilities are pretty cool, in that it increases your strength and speed while in the state, and allows you to use more energy for crafting your weapons. It's pretty much a super form with an arm, but you aren't invincible, and it doesn't have a time limit, and you just are able to deactivate it. And so that's one benefit over some of the other forms on this list. But because of the fact that you don't take any damage, and the fact that it doesn't have any unique abilities going for it, and its design is just okay, I can't put it any higher than number 10. Okay, now let's talk about the Kraken transformation from Splatoon. I bet you guys are shocked. Not only did I put a transformation of an aquatic character, it's a transformation from a shooter. Name one other list. Any other time you would think of, poster child for transformations in video games. Yeah, I think of shooters. No one ever thinks of that. And yet you have a perfect one in Splatoon. The Kraken has been nerfed because it has to have some weaknesses. This is for fair play in multiplayer, but it's still a super weapon. Meaning compared to normal weapons, it is pretty powerful. Even though there are very few. What saves it is the fact that it has a cool design. And it's kind of unique in that you're turning into an aquatic creature. You're much less a kraken. And its abilities are pretty good, just not amazing. Anything like, you could choose it if you wanted to, but there are all these other special weapons that are just about as even with it because of balance. And so I can't put it any higher than this, but it's still a very cool and powerful transformation. If they put a more the original version, I mean the unnerfed version that was released in the original game, in the story mode only, where you don't have to have balancing, then I would be talking about that, and this might actually be slightly higher. Yeah, it might have a chance of actually beating the next spot on our list. So let's move on to number 7. Okay, now let's talk about Hyper Mode. As with the last one, and I do realize I forgot to mention this in the Kraken, Hyper Mode has a it's their transformation sequence. It's just there. And that's kind of sad in a sense, because this, especially with this one and the last one, when their appearances are what's more unique about them. They both have have that type. It's a type of transformation you don't really see that much. At least. But I will say the uniqueness based on abilities. Oh no, increased strength, pretty much invincible. So well, yeah, it's pretty much it's a carbon copy ability wise of what you typically get from Star Mario or any other invincibility. But that does not take away from the coolness factor of the abilities, and that also does not take away from the fact that you get one unique ability that most invincible modes don't give you. Projectiles, especially rapid fire projectiles. Hyper mode is just a fun, crazy time to be had, and I'm really glad it made it on this list. Yes, and any Metroid fans who are going to be bugging me that it should have been higher, should have had a better transformation sequence, and maybe a couple of different unique abilities to make it more unique, so it could have been higher. But other than that, it is an awesome transformation. Now let's move on to number 7.
Ancora una volta ti presenti al mio cospetto prescelto e ancora una volta il tuo eroismo verrà giustamente premiato. Ricevi questo nuovo potere della luce che ti aiuterà a raggiungere nuovi luoghi. Sono posti che prima potevi soltanto sognare.
Okay. Now, like Jack, I know a lot of you are going to be saying, and why not Dark Jack? Well, honestly, I think we've got enough demonic, dark energy transformations out there. So this one gets a little more points in the uniqueness category. Also, its abilities are pretty cool, and its abilities get a more uniqueness points as well. Now, being more defensive in nature, sure, and being really OP if you combine them with your weapons. And I would say, yeah, it's a pretty cool transformation in design, and I like it. Its abilities are pretty cool, just because it's still pretty low on the list because to do any actual damage or so, or while the defensiveness is pretty unique, it's still, you have to exit the transformation after using several of the abilities of the transformation, one of them particularly, the time freezing, to gain the edge, and it's really not. One of the best parts about a transformation is feeling like a badass during the transformation. Not going, okay, activate transformation, activate this. Okay, now deactivate transformation, now I feel like a badass! That's not as fun as some other transformations, so I do have to docket some points there. But overall, like Jack, is still one of the best transformations I've come across. So let's move on to number 6 before the Jak and Daxter fanboys want to rip me a new asshole. Okay, guys. Now, I know I just said demonic and dark transformations have been done to death. So why is this one higher than an angelic transformations? 1. This is an awesome one. And 2, well, its abilities are awesome to use, and it makes you feel like a badass. Its abilities and appearance make up. Mostly, its appearance is tied with Jak in a sense, alongside its transformation, and its uniqueness is a little bit lower than like Jak, but it makes up for this in spades with how fun it is to use Devil Trigger. It is just a blast to use. Now let's move on before the Jak and Daxter fanboys get pissed at me for putting this on the list and not Dark Jak. Hey guys, I'm gonna be honest. I bet a lot of you are pissed that Devil Trigger didn't beat Wolf Link. And a lot of you are probably wondering, why the fuck did Wolf Link win? At least over Devil Trigger. 1, it's one of the few wolf transformations that is done right. Wolves don't have that much more power over normal swordsmen, but they do have rapid attack, way more rapid attacking capability with their claws, and that's what makes them deadly. Moving on, also, this is one of the few games that incorporates the wolf's sense of smell and digging capabilities. And when I say digging capability, it's one of the few games that incorporates the digging capabilities into the transformation, other than the Lego games that do wolf transformations. And the smell is one of the few traits that they don't do, so there's that. Well, one last thing, and the transformation sequence is really awesome. Now, let's move on to the next one before the Devil May Cry fans kill me.
My strength is unparalleled.
This can't be. Thanks a lot. Here goes nothing. Full power. Here we go.
What can I say? I like big guns. And you take X, give him a jetpack, and literal Gatling guns attached to him. That's awesome. Plus, it's in an RPG where I just get to go for a couple of seconds. It's hilarious. Oh man. And plus the power and speed and health oh man. There's no way I was gonna let this not be on this list. I was just surprised it made it this far. I thought but it was a little unique in the color scheme, and I really do like the design. And it's also kind of unique in the sense that it's a robot transformation, like I mentioned with Metal Sonic. Nick in the last entry. But I find this one cooler, and for the fact that you can play as it. So, moving on.
Let's do it!
This, I know a lot of you saw this one coming, but I bet a lot of you are also saying boo for the fact that it's this high, especially over Devil Trigger and Light Jack and Dark Jack from the Jak and Daxter series. The reason why is, name one other transformation besides the other super transformations from the Sonic the Hedgehog series that turns you gold that is from video games. Because Super Saiyan and Naruto's Biju mode / Nine-Tails Chakra mode turned you gold, but you don't see that kind of transformation in video games too often. And it's kind of rare. Also, it's kind of like a better version of Metal Mario. With its abilities and the fact that you can keep it for extended periods of time, especially in multiple different areas, whereas Metal Mario is very situational. So yeah, of course I'm picking this one over Metal Mario. And the transformation sequence is one of the best sequences in the game, only rivaled by Mega Man X's Ultimate Armor's transformation, Wolfling's, and Wonderful 101's unlimited form. And number one, which has ended pretty okay and commands a, oh, you're going to get like you just activated some major power. But I'll save talking about that for the next one. Let's find out what I think is the #1 transformation in video game history so far.
Give me strength!
Can you at least let me explain why I think this is the best transformation in video games? Well, if you stuck around and allowed me to explain, thank you for one. Now two, this form is unique in the sense that kind of like how Jak 3 has you have Light Jak and Dark Jak to kind of balance each other out, and Shadow the Hedgehog, a game that just exists. I'm not going to go into any detail on its quality. Lydia has the Hero Shadow and Evil Dark Shadow to act as parallels. One negative energy, one positive energy. Master Form in Kingdom Hearts serves as Sora using his light energy, using the light. Whereas Anti-Form serves as him using the darkness. Ultimate Form, or, well, no, not Ultimate, sorry, I just remembered its name. Final Form serves as him using both light and darkness. It has no negative drawbacks. And is just... it has no negative drawbacks. It is literally the best form in the game, aside from Limit Form, if I had the Japanese copy, or the HD remake to play, which I don't, so I can't include Limit Form. But Final Form is still up there, and I'd say it's actually the only other form that can rival it would be Limit Form, but I haven't played as it yet, and I know what you're saying. Wait, how do you know it can rival it if you haven't played as it? I looked up the abilities, okay? That's what I'm getting at. But since I haven't played it, it's not eligible for the list. But Final Form, since I have played as it, it is eligible. Its abilities are... it's unique in the sense that it's a transformation that has both light and dark, or good and evil energy mixed in at the exact same time. Supersonic is just good energy. Devil Trigger is just negative energy with Light Jak, positive energy. And same with Wolf Link, it's dark energy. And most other transformations, they don't use use a combination either. They just go, oh, super version or generic super version, or just let's use an elemental version or something. This is one of the few transformations that use both light and darkness. Plus, it allows you to telekinetically wield your weapons. How awesome is that? It gives you hovering. It's just so awesome. So, I mean, go back and watch the little clip I showed you of it if you don't believe me. Well, with that being said, it's time for me to go. Oh, see you on the next review, which will be Donkey Kong on Jungle Beat for the GameCube. Please have mercy on me.